The affirmative repositioning movement's activists are hard at work, championing the plight of the poor, the permanently disadvantaged, and justice. I met with activist Tuhafeni Petrus, recently praised by Windhoek Mayor and founding member of the AR movement, Job Amupanda, for having assisted a worker from Swakopmund, simply named Maggie, to get some of her salary back after her employer failed to pay her for a while. Tuhafeni, a former trade unionist, is using his know-how to alleviate the suffering of the workers at the coast.
My interest is just to represent employees. I've come to realize that trade unions are not really there for employees, especially when they are having labor issues. Up until today, there are more problems across the country where workers have been exploited and victimized at their workplace. And some still belong straight to trade union, paying up membership fees on a monthly basis. But when they are in problems, those trade unions are nowhere to be found, or maybe to represent them. So I think from our side as activists, we will step in whenever we see the need to go and assist our fellow brothers and sisters across the country. And this should go out as a warning that we are not going to leave any unstone turned. We are going to make sure that we deal with whoever is exploiting Namibians employees in general. My biggest concern actually is like the BEC of Rossing that was recently dismissed for standing up for the workers' rights at Rossing, whereby the union did not represent or protect those members that were representing the fellow members at their workplace. Today they are on the street, and I think the union still plays that hide and seek game, pretending representing employees, while in the same vein they're actually together with management. These are just one of the highlights of things that I've picked up. Also with the Besche investment company that is based in Karibet, where workers also were embarked in an industrial action or in a strike, where later on they lost their job. Up as you speak now, they are on the street, and the union has still been playing the same game that they used to play, pretending representing employees, while in the same vein they are together with management. They actually now they are advisors of companies, but these employees pays a fee of 1% on a monthly basis. But when it comes to labor matters or unfair procedural from the company, the union or the union leaders prefer to stand firm or to support management. So this is a big and a great concern to me. That's why in the due course going forward, we are going to have a lot of unemployment. People will be losing their jobs left, right, and center because the unions are they hold no ground today. I mean, they are just there for decoration. There's nothing that they do that one can really say, okay, the union went to represent certain employees at a certain company and overcome, and things are back to normal now. After strike or after dispute, workers are always dismissed, and then trade unions are still not doing anything. So these guys are just in positions, maybe just to warm up the chair, or maybe just there for decoration, but they are not really lifting up to expectation. A lot of exploitation is taking place, especially in the small-scale mining and in contract companies where workers are working without contracts, working without any benefit. Being dismissed from work without proper proceeding hearings taking place. But yet unions are still doing nothing. To them, business is normal as long as they are there in those offices and wearing union attires and driving union cars with badges and making funny meetings, which at the end of the day they hold no water, no ground, no positive outcome is actually coming out. You understand? So these things have really, it's paining me a lot, and it gets me very frustrated when I see employees suffering in this sort of format. But as an AR activist, having one freedom now to really stand up for what is right. They are going to leave us. They are going to leave us to leave us dying. We will die for standing up what is right, irrespective of who is connected to that company or who is actually a friend or who is having any shares in that company. We are not going to leave any stone unturned. A few days back, I received a call from a lady called Maggie. She's based here in Swakop, a domestic worker that she's been working for 8 months without a salary. Imagine somebody that works for 8 months without any single cent, and all what those ladies or employer can give you is food parcels. So I was very eager to go there. We went there with one of my colleagues or one of my activists, and we went there and confronted that employer. And when we came there, they were a little bit rude, and we told them that we are not going to leave this house up until you pay something or get to an agreement on how you are going to pay off that money. We told them we are going to camp that house up until you pay that money. It's where we have reached, we come to that agreement now where she was compensated on the same day, 2,500, and then the 5,500 will be paid off end of this month in October 2021, which is a good progress for us. We are also asking out Namibians out there that are suffering of this same magnitude to really confront, come forward to any AR activists across the country to come in and really report to us. We will gladly assist you in a way, wherever we can, because this exploitation has to come to an end.
Here he is in action, getting justice for Maggie.
Okay, Maggie. Okay, this agreement is between Maggie and her employer, 8,000. Okay, okay. So,
is it okay?
You guys are paying 2,500 today, okay? So the total amount was 8,000, eh? Okay, that is outstanding. So end of this month, of October, you guys are paying 5,500. How will that money be paid? Will it be cash or will it be deposited in her account?
Deposit into her account.
Do you have her account?
Yes.
We're not
E-wallet will either be an e-wallet or deposit into her account.
Okay, so you can just sign here. No, it's not my money, it's Maggie's money. How do you want to give me Maggie's money, man? Okay, as a witness, I can just sign here, eh?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so you make a copy for us. We keep one copy, the other one stays with you.
Did you count them, eh?
I don't have a
Count.
copy,
Okay?
but I know what I've said.
Okay. Okay.
So it's good.
2,500.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, man. Have a nice day.
Okay.
Okay. Here's your agreement. Sure.
I asked Tuhafeni just how much labor relations have in fact actually changed since independence, because the plight of the lowly worker seldom takes center stage.
It's still the same since after, before independence, it's still the same. I mean, you take companies, for instance, like this APS. There is a lot of people that works for, especially in mining and retail shops like Womanbrook and Pick and Pay and Checkers and so on. And then also in the fishing factories where people are working under APS. For instance, just an example, you as a APS employee, for instance, maybe you are getting a 10,000 salary. Half of that salary goes to APS on a monthly basis. And then you also don't have any benefit. There's also no contract, you understand? So that's why when you go to these shops like Womanbrook and Pick and Pay, you will see after 3 or 4 or 6 months, you will always see different ladies. I mean, you will not see the same ladies that you used to see 3 months back, you understand? This is a hiring and a firing. And people went to exile of this exploitation back in the 80s. But now after independence, we are still experiencing the same problem, you understand? But government is literally doing nothing about this, because we all know, we have also come to realize that some of the big guns are also shareholders of these APS companies. We do not want to mention names, but we will get to that going forward if they not stop. We also want to urge those APS employees and any other employees that are facing unfair labor practice of being victimized, working without contracts, being exploited like that, to really come forward and come and see any AR activists to assist them in that regard. We also have the Revolutionary Union that will be in operation very soon. We are just waiting for the certificate. There's also a delay now at the labor just to grant us that certificate in order for us to be in full operation. You know, everybody fears AR, you know, AR is not a joke.
Whilst I was interviewing Tuhafeni on his mission to get justice for Namibia's working class, he received a phone call from yet another disgruntled employee who refused to take a position as a cleaner after he was basically demoted following a car accident he had whilst on duty, which left him unable to do the same job that he used to do. He was formerly an assistant mechanic.
On 12 May last year, 2020, we were involved in a car accident.
I was not a driver, I was just sent as a mechanic assistant too. And the driver started on the spot because we were two, and the driver started at the spot. And from there, I was in the hospital, I was in Katutura because we were going to do our job on the Kulene region, the company centers. Then from there, I just find myself in the hospital. How did I come here? And after 2 months, then later say we were on duty, and the car overloaded, getting an accident. Then from there, I was on my sick leave till December, let me say it. And then January, on 1st January, I come to start the job. Then from the job, I start my job. First time they put me on file, just to file. Then from there, I was doing filing. Then from there, they changed me to, they take me to Dr. Moy, to their private doctor. They're having a doctor, which they will send me to Dr. Moy in Swakop. And later, give a report that the guy can, but they can't pick up the thing with 10 kg. I must not do because I'm not yet fit. Then from there, they changed it. They sent me again to medics. Where did I do my last? When the medics still give the same story, I must do it, not doing the heavy duty. Then my employer decided to take me to make me as a cleaner, to change my position to cleaner, but they did demote the salary. I must get $16 pay, $16.97, which I'm not happy with it. I say I can't. It's not. They say it's an accident. They say, yeah, I know it's an accident. It's not the employer's fault. It's not my fault. But they decide to change my salary. So then from there, on 19 July, they just terminate my contract and they send me home with a 16,000 something package. I worked there for the company 7 years. It's not bad. Because there is no one. I can't even afford to pay my rent, to give my child food. It's just because I was taken to the labor, and they decided to go to the labor. They say they can change the, I don't know, labor commission, because it was there. I was there on first. I was at the labor commission. I didn't get the help. Still, they say I must go back to work with a salary promotion, which I'm not happy with it. There's a collapse. There's something which is not. There's a collapse. Let me say that there's a collapse. There's a big collapse. Because I'm having a level 3, I think. But you can't demote the salary. Because I'm not like, I'm having a safety kit. I'm working as a mechanic. Instead of promote me, you can't demote.
As my luck would have it, Tuhafeni decided to go and confront Titus's employers.
But check the time. I need to go out. I have my own life. I've got things to do. There was nothing. He went, he ran to the labor law.
You have your own life, but not to run our life. How we should run our life?
I'm sorry, then you need to stand here and look at me the whole day. You didn't make an appointment, nothing.
Listen here.
Let me focus now. Let me focus now.
Yeah, you understand?
We want to know how did it happen that somebody was involved in a car accident or box to your company, you are letting the person off. We want to understand what does your code of conduct
Who are you? Who are you?
We are here.
Okay, so now where is his current acting there? Where is Ricardo?
Who's Ricardo?
This guy that is defending you. Where?
No, we are the one defending you. That's why we are here.
No.
Yeah, that's why we are
You
here.
luister gou hier, Titus het nou hier aangekom met 2 ander mense wat hom die is, hulle het nie eens 'n appointment gemaak of enigiets. Hulle kom vra jy 170 staan. Wat vind ek hier? Julle moet die perseel verlaat. Okay. Ek sal anders bel ek die polisie.
That is not correct. That's your problem. That's not correct. Gaan aan die
Bye.
Yeah. That's not correct.
Yeah. Why we are here, because this gentleman told us, you are the one. Yeah, you are the one that accept the gentleman with the paper. You are the one who served the gentleman with the termination letter.
Through CINA, our labor consultants, please. You guys cannot pop up here and just say this type of things. Why are you guys not going to the arbitrator?
This is, you are the employer.
I want to ask you, you cannot just come in here.
Sina is your lawyer that you pay to represent you.
No,
understand?
you didn't
we
make
came
an
to
appointment.
understand why did you terminate the contract? That's what we want to understand. Why did you do that?
Listen, I am not going to talk to you about anything.
Why
It's
not?
not.
Why
Because
not?
you did not make an appointment with me, or you came here with
What
anything.
difference will it make for a meeting? You still the same person we are going to meet.
No, you are the one who terminate the gentleman's contract.
He knows what. He knows what. Why we terminated.
Why did you do
I
it?
will not talk to you. I will not. I have no reason.
Why did you do it? Why did you do it? Why did you terminate the gentleman's contract?
What you can tell us the difference? What would be different? What are we
If
making?
it was you, I put yourself in his shoes now. If it was you are still an employee also here in the same business. You are not the owner of this company. You're also involved in a car accident. And then the boss terminates your contract. How will you feel?
Hi, ma'am. How are you? Ma'am, I'm calling you from Coventry Investments. We've got two guys that came in.
Tell them we are ARA
Investments.
It's not.
They are standing here in front of our building, shouting and screaming, wanting answers. Can you please ask them?
Nobody shouting to you.
Yeah, Coventry Investments in the new industrial area.